Hello, this is Lisa Russick and Misty Laura with the podcast. We are all psychic. And today we have Jennifer Love back, of course, for our love series. And Jennifer, would you like to say hello?
Hello, how are you?
And do you still think we're all psychic?
Yes.
Yes, we'll get that.
Yay!
So today, listeners, this is Jennifer Love's love series and metaphysics series. And today we're talking about
Breakups and how to get over when you get your heart broken.
and how to know when to break up. And if you can do it yourself, you can still get your heart broken, you know?
Heck yeah. It's hard.
Yeah.
I think everybody goes through it. It's pretty universal.
Everybody has that first breakup that just crushed them, I guess, you know, or the one that just didn't answer or call back or whatever, you know, that one that just crushed you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get a lot of my clients that are in that maybe unsure space where I don't know if I should break up. Like, is this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's something I can relate to very well. Like I second guess myself a lot because like I've been wrong so often with men. So now as I'm older, I'm second guessing myself a lot. And when I'm downright straight honest with myself at 48 about what I want, I actually know, you know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, in some situations where you're dating and if you do know what you want, even if you don't, but you have an idea that this might not be it, what do you do? And you're not sure. Where do you take time? I mean, do you take time to figure it out if your heart's confused? And it's not saying I love him or I don't love him or them or anything like that. They're not answering. Your heart's not really clear because you're so full up in here. Sometimes that's the issue. Like, what would you advise to someone who's kind of on the fence and they're not real sure? They think they know what they want. They don't know if they're judging this person appropriately.
Yeah. Definitely on the fence. It's definitely a time to pause, right? I think especially, and it depends where you are in the relationship, right? Especially in the early stages of dating, people tend to make these very quick judgments and quick decisions in our app society of swipe left, swipe right. You know, it's very easy to make these quick decisions on people. One date, man, I didn't like them. Next, you know, or oh, I didn't like this one thing about this person. I'll find somebody else.
Right.
You know, so you don't want to discard people like they're, you know,
Tissues.
playing cards.
Yeah.
Or tissues. Yeah. You know, everybody has quirks to them. And, you know, you're not going to like everything about everybody. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
And not everybody's going to like everything about you.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to like discern, like, is this things I can live with or things that I can't, you know? So that's why I always tell people to make the list of like must haves and can't stands or like the deal breakers, right? Because if you find you have the deal breaker, right? Then you absolutely know, yeah, no, this is not going to work out for me. This is one of my deal breakers. Or if it's one of those gray areas, then, right, you're like, this is not a deal breaker, but I don't know if I can deal with this. For example, I always like to use examples in my own life. My boyfriend has a dog and the dog stays in or sleeps in the bedroom. And at first that really weirded me out. Like I was like, I don't do this. This is not normal for me. I could see your dog there on the bed, Misty. Like that's obviously normal for you, right?
We did it together.
I'm not like, I was not used to that at all. And but it kind of it was just like new information for me, right? It wasn't a deal breaker. It wasn't like, I absolutely cannot, be anywhere near a dog. It was just like, oh, I'm not sure if I could sleep in, the dog doesn't sleep in the bed, but he's in the room. And I'm just like, I don't know, let's try it. Like, I'm not sure like if I can do this or not. So it's just kind of like new information, right? You have to like take the time to like assimilate, well, is this going to be okay for me or is it not going to be okay for me? And then you're going to have to like compromise. Maybe if it's not, what if I happen to be highly allergic to dogs, then maybe my boyfriend had to move the dog out of the room if, we were going to cohabitate, whatever. So you just have to make those kinds of choices, right, as you move along and get further into the relationship. But I always like, it just bothers me, when I see people dating and they're just so quick to like get rid of someone so fast. But then on the flip side, staying in a very unhealthy dynamic out of fear or, well, I'll never be able to find someone with
loneliness
qualities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, they're afraid to get back out there and date again.
And they don't want to be lonely.
You don't want to be alone and you don't want to be lonely. But if you absolutely know that it's not working, why would you stay?
A lot of women,
unhealthy dynamic.
I mean, right? For a lot of women in the South anyway, we've been taught. I wasn't a baby in the South, really, but I moved to the South, Chattanooga, when I was 6, I think 5. But my parents, they're all from New England. Down here, women are, if you speak out, you're kind of obnoxious. If you speak your mind, you're laughed at, or you're stepping over your bounds. Most women are treated this way. And I see it because I'm not from here originally, and I've traveled a lot. And when I speak my mind around, unless the artist friends and musician friends I have like it, well, sometimes, but most generally men do not like women to speak up, and women will get embarrassed if you're speaking up around men and them, because they might get in trouble. Like, you get in trouble, you get belittled and put down and stuff because you don't
ridiculed
in front of me, and make fun of, do anything that embarrasses me. You are just to stay put and just be quiet and do the things you're supposed to do. So a lot of women in Alabama didn't get educations. They had children right out of high school, if they even finished high school. A lot of them didn't, because they had babies, and the men were too young, and they were both too young to take care of them. The men left, women stuck with the baby, and not stuck. They love their baby, but what are they going to do now? They don't know anything, And they were never taught what to do in that situation, because they were told it would never happen by their mothers, who it did happen to usually, and it's just a cycle of not speaking of it, not being able to speak because you will get shut down.
I think that's just a huge ongoing,
it may be everywhere, but it's really prevalent in the South. It is
I think that's a nationwide
really here
feminist issue that, women don't have a voice sometimes.
And that women don't get to be financially secure at any point in their lives because they're raising these children. And then when they're in their 40s and the children are gone, or 30s, even younger, they have no skills because they couldn't work. Or they had to, wanted to stay home with their children, or they had no one to take care of them and their children. So they worked and took care of the children.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people in Alabama, women I've seen this happen to, and they are not given any benefits. They're just looked down upon by the men, not the other women. The other women stand by them, but not in front of their man. You believe that, or else, you're going to be looked at like you're acting out and you're not behaving like a woman should. So that's a lot down here, and men do act like that down here. I don't know about you, Missy. I mean, not all men, but a lot of them do, and it's hard to meet someone that I personally can connect with that kind of attitude out there, pretty much accepted in my culture, local culture.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I'd have to. Well,
do you know what I'm talking about, though, right, Missy?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
boys club. True. It's a boys club, and all the fathers' rights groups, they come into divorces and just
and the men are
what the husband or father has done.
They do whatever they want to, and the women just shut up.
Yes. And if a woman cries on the stand, I mean, a woman can cry on the stand in Alabama. It just depends on how pretty she is. If it makes her case better, honest to God, that's what I believe. And if you cry on the stand as a woman, they'll find you weak. They'll find you weak no matter what. They're looking for your weakness. They're trying to find a weakness in any strong woman, or even somewhat possibly strong woman. They don't want it because I don't know why. They were told so, probably. And they don't know why either. It's just ingrained in the culture. The culture is very slow to change here. So yeah.
I'm obviously from California. I'm from Southern California. It's very liberal, but and I've always been a person that has a very high excess of confidence. So I'm born with it. I don't know how I can't. I don't want to say like I can't relate, but like I really can't. I try. I understand and I can empathize with people who are in that situation because I've seen it and I understand it. But I wasn't raised that way, and I don't. Well,
I was raised
identify with it.
Shut.
I don't identify with it because I'm a very confident person.
Yeah.
And my upbringing was always, that you can do whatever you want and you can be whoever you want. even though when I, went through growing up, those weren't the messages society was giving me.
Yeah.
You can be,
Right.
you're not equal. You can't really do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But that's not what my parents were kind of,
Yeah.
giving me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I totally get what you're saying. And it's yeah, it's very difficult in love and relationships when you're
Your
looking
fishing
for that
pool is
someone.
very full of gnarly like anglerfish that want to like trick you and dangle their little thing and eat you. That's Alabama men. They're anglerfish floating around, waiting to kind of get you in the dark.
Fishing. Well, I mean, I don't know, who, and I'm sure your listeners are all different ages too.
Yeah.
Like, so when I think
the younger people in their 20s and 30s, I don't think they have to deal with this as much as our generation. And
I think it's almost worse for women in their 20s and 30s. They're not as confident.
True.
I went to the Taylor Swift concert last night. And so I was like definitely one of the older people there because the girls are quite young that go to that. And so I was chatting with some women in line and all these things. And I was asked, I don't know how we were talking about dating or whatever, but I always tend to go there, I guess, with people. And a girl, sorry, she's a woman. She was talking about, talking to a man and the man having a conversation with her breasts rather than her eyes. And I was saying, yeah, I can understand how that would make you want to cover up.
Yeah.
And not want to, show your body because I said, but after you turn 40, you have a lot more body confidence and you really don't care what other people think about you and how you dress, because I was dressed a little bit differently than she was. So it's just, I was just kind of like thinking of the difference between like being in your 20s and 30s versus being in your 40s and having more confidence in yourself than, when you're younger.
Right.
And not necessarily, not just your body, but just in general, in your speech, in the way you act, in the way you date, in what you want, what you don't want. I think women who are older just naturally have more confidence to, go after what they want and reject what they don't.
Yeah. I think you're right. So, most women do. Yeah. Because they're sick of waiting.
Yeah. And then
they don't have
experience of dating as well. Like you've dated people, by the time you're in your 30s and 40s, you've been through this process of dating, right? A few men or maybe many men, depends on who you are. And how men act, what you want, what you don't want,
you definitely
have experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting for sure.
So what about, I think we're getting off the subject about breaking up.
It's too hard to talk about.
Yeah.
I know.
It is hard to talk about, so I'll break the ice. I'll try to think of the worst breakup I ever had. It was probably a boyfriend in college who trashed my apartment when I broke up with him. I broke up with him that night and I spent the night at someone else's house. He showed up there in the morning. I went home and then he trashed my apartment. He followed me home and trashed my apartment.
Oh, nice.
That sucked.
Aren't you glad you broke up with him?
Like, why are you leaving me? You shouldn't leave me.
Wow.
It was bad. Yeah.
How long were y'all dating?
Other than that, the breakups were never fun, but that was the worst. I didn't expect that.
How long were y'all dating?
About a year and a half. Didn't see it coming.
I don't think anybody sees that coming.
Yeah.
That's completely unnatural and unexpected.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
And just the case, it wasn't really a breakup, but I had a guy just use me for sex that I really loved, and that didn't call me back, and that sucked. It's kind of different than a breakup, but it felt like a breakup. So I'd like this guy for a long time, years and years. We finally were trying to make something happen, and he just slept with me and disappeared.
He
It was
used to,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think a lot of people can
more
relate
like
to
it.
that. I think a
What?
lot of people can relate to that.
Yes.
You've kind of either created this relationship in your head
No, we had
that's
an on again, off again
defined.
thing
Yeah.
that was never physical.
Right.
And then it did get physical, and he never talked to me again. I guess that's why. I guess that's why I never got physical and it lasted. I don't know. So, but we lived in different places, so it was kind
A
of
lot of people are in what's called these situationships where the relationship's not defined.
yes,
Um,
yes.
and but somehow they get emotionally connected, usually on the woman's side.
Yeah.
The man can have sex without any emotions whatsoever.
Mhm.
And then the longer it goes on, the more emotionally invested the woman gets. But the man can continue like that forever.
Yes,
I don't-
And
Yeah.
and there's no investment really.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
So, what are some telltale signs that that might be going on for a woman? Right? She should ask that guy for clarification.
A
What-
situationship?
Yeah, situationship. Like she should tell him what she needs, I guess, or
Yeah.
ask him. Other than
So
that, like,
a situationship is, the relationship's not defined. So you haven't made any sort of commitment to each other. You haven't said we're exclusive.
Okay.
We've agreed to stop seeing other people. We've agreed to turn off our dating apps. We're labeling boyfriend and girlfriend. Anything like that. So it's usually
Okay.
just a really ambiguous type of thing, like you're dating or like you're hooking up, and it just keeps going on.
And a woman, I know, I personally, I feel that most women will, no matter who they love or what sex they love, women get really invested when it gets physical with their heart most of the time.
Course.
Yeah, that's how
it's
we're
hard
made.
to
Yeah.
That's how
not.
we're built.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's, what
That's how we're wired.
We're honest with
biologically.
ourselves.
Yeah.
We're honest with ourselves. If men were honest with themselves, they probably wouldn't feel as good about sleeping around, or just staying with someone because they don't have anything better to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some men get very emotionally invested after
Yes.
sex as well. It's not
Yes.
just women. I mean,
Absolutely.
I don't want to just like single out women, because men can do the same thing. They could get very emotionally invested and the woman doesn't.
Yeah.
But
There's not many women who like that I know personally who
me neither.
don't lose
the woman
themselves.
she's usually very much lying to herself. I found that if a woman is saying, "Oh, I don't care, I'm just hooking up, and it's no big
Friends with
deal,"
benefits.
she's usually
Yeah.
lying to herself.
Yeah.
But it. I suppose it could happen, but it's usually our biology that we're fighting. It's our hormones. It's
Yeah.
really out of our control.
Yeah.
Which is, it sucks.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not fair. But it sucks. So yeah, that's kind of, yeah.
So I told you guys one of my breakups, or two of my breakups, that really sucked, and they're personal. You guys want to talk about yours?
Yeah. I think the worst was, I really liked this man I was dating. We weren't, committed or anything, but we'd been dating for a few months, and it was, I don't want to say it was ambiguous, because we were just, casually dating. It wasn't, but we weren't committed. And then he just decided to commit to somebody else. Like
Did you know about the other person?
I did.
Oh.
But I kind of he just kind of stopped calling me, right? And then I saw it on his Instagram that he had chose somebody else, basically. And I was just devastated. And I went into this really deep depression, and I was just because I just felt like, oh my God, he was the one.
Yeah.
I picked him. And so that was the problem, though, that I saw, after the fact, after getting some time and space from it. I realized that you can't make somebody the one who doesn't choose you. So
Right.
how could he have possibly have been the one if he didn't choose me back?
But at the time, it felt really confusing, didn't it?
Yeah. At the time, I was really sad. I was really confused about why he didn't, want to be with me. He didn't have a reason or anything. He didn't explain himself for sure. But yeah, it was really hard on me. And really hard to get over.
Yeah.
For some reason, that one was particularly hard for me to get over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds rough. Man,
I think it's how you end it too. Like how you break up with that person makes a big difference. Like in your instance, Jennifer, he didn't even talk to you about it or tell you. He just
he ghosted or vanished.
And did it on the internet for you to find out that way.
Yeah, I just kind of found out.
That was heartbreaking. That would have been horrible. If he would have been man enough to do it like face to face and say, look, this isn't really what I want in the relationship, and I have found somebody else. And been an adult about the situation, then maybe you wouldn't have been as heartbroken as you were, but it's just the way he ended it was awful.
Makes you feel just like, I mean, that, like the guy tossing me aside after we slept together, and I'm like, oh, and he never calls him. But it's the same thing. It's like there's no
the whole time he was like seeing this other person.
Oh, well, see, I think this guy had been too.
Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah, that's totally wrong.
That's very bad. Yeah, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But what did you learn from it that you would never take again or put up with again or maybe do again?
I learned to not put people on a pedestal.
Yes.
Yeah, nobody is that perfect. Nobody is above me. Nobody is the one.
Oh, that's a very good point. I like it.
There's no one.
One thing I try to tell my girls, and I have, found this raising 3 girls, in order to be complete, later on in life, you realize that you have to break up with somebody, and that's hard. But also you have to be broken up with. And I think those 2 things should happen before you get married, and usually they do. But I think that, how it feels on both ends. So, when you have to do it yourself or break up with somebody, you know how it feels. So you can do it, as lightly as possible and not make that person feel so bad just because it's not working out between you both.
Yeah.
And so that's always what I tell my kids, when they go through their first breakup, I'm like, you know what? You have to know what it feels on the other side of it, in order to grow. It's just how it is.
I have very strong feelings about ghosting too, and I always have.
Yes.
I don't think there's any excuse for ghosting.
No.
I think all you need to do is send somebody a text that says, "Hey, wasn't feeling much of a connection. Good luck with your search."
It's selfish because they're afraid of the hurting your feelings and them feeling it and being guilty. So they just it's selfish.
I don't think women should confront men in person because men could be nasty and violent.
Yes.
But sending a text is not a big deal. Unless in your case, Lisa, like they know where you live.
Yeah.
And could react violently after the fact. Like,
no, he didn't touch me, but he broke a lot of stuff. I mean,
I mean, if you fear for your safety, I think that might be the only reason to ghost. Like, there's some reason you fear for your safety.
Yeah.
That's
not ghosting. That's escaping.
Right. That's like filing a restraining order. I mean, other than that, like, I don't really see. But most people ghosting is just like you went on one internet date and then you just never talk to the person again. And I don't understand that. Why can't you just send them a text and go,
Right. I'm not I'm not dating anyone right now. Or just saying, if you don't know, like, it's lay them down and nice.
Yeah. I don't think there's a lot of, a ton of feelings invested at that point either. So I'm not sure why people are so like not wanting to reject someone in that way.
Because I feel guilty. I guess. And they don't want to, they're selfish and they don't want to have to feel that guilt and go through that and make that person feel that way and then feel bad about themselves. So they just don't.
Well, I think once you've done it 10 or 20 times, like I have, it doesn't feel so bad.
Oh, Misty, are you going to tell us a story about being broken up? Or?
Well, I remember, I guess the worst heartache I ever had was when I was younger. It was like my first real boyfriend, and we moved. We were moving to from Texas to Alabama, And so I was, heartbroken because I didn't want to leave my first boyfriend, obviously, but I didn't have a choice. We were leaving. And I had found out that he had been seeing another girl right before I left. And so that was very heartbreaking.
Oh my gosh.
And, there was no ending with it. It was just like,
no closure.
Sit. And then we left. So in my mind, I played it out where how we were supposed to be together forever and knowing that was not the case at all. But, I think that when you're broken up with, it makes it, depending on the situation, it makes you always want what you can't have kind of thing, especially when you're younger. Somebody broke up with me. You girls know what I'm saying.
Yes.
How could you do that to me? So I think that was the worst that I had experienced.
Yeah, that's yeah.
And I think you put a lot of stock in, like I said, he's the one, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I was young and stupid.
Yeah. I had no excuse. I was like 45.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I think if we had to let's dig this into some let's switch over into some metaphysical spiritual technique, break up with them and deal with it. If they've been breaking up with us, or they break up with us every other week, or we break up a lot, or if we just are broken up and it's over, like what are some things we can do to feel better? If
the first thing people like go into a spiral, right? You're just like in this emotional spiral, and you kind of like it's a bit of an out of body experience, right? You're kind of panicky, you're very emotional, you start doing bizarre things.
Like, yes. Yeah,
you're either like staying up all night, you're eating a ton of food, or you stop eating, or you get a little manic and like start doing a lot of bizarre things, like
painting the walls with leaves. Yeah,
clean their house. They cut all their hair off. They like, so you're kind of like out of your body, right? So the first thing you should really do is get back in your body, which sounds very like, that's the last thing I want to do is be back in my body and feeling all these horrible feelings. Because that's actually why you're so like,
that makes sense.
And out, because you don't want to feel depressed and shitty. You actually want to go, I'm not like, I don't want to feel this. So I'm going to like do everything I can to not feel. So, but actually the best thing you can do is actually get back in your body and feel the feelings.
You have to process them.
You have to. So meditation is actually the best thing you could do, and being present. So, and some people are like, I can't meditate. I don't know how to meditate. So all you have to do is breathe. Take a breath. So you can just sit there and take a deep inhale breath. You can inhale for 4 breaths and exhale for 8 breaths. Inhale for 4 breaths, exhale for 8 breaths. And it even works if you're like sobbing, crying, and you can't breathe. That's a good way to like stop crying. Try to inhale for 4 breaths and exhale for 8 breaths. It really does help you calm down and stop crying. If you want to stop crying, like if you had that long crying jag and
you can't breathe and your eyes are different shapes and your iPhone doesn't recognize your face.
Stop and breathe.
I tried so hard that my phone didn't recognize my face. Recently.
And I'm there, like I'm a big emotional person. I cry and cry. So like it really does help to like get back into your body. So once you've gotten back in that stage where you can actually like be present in your body, then you have to start taking care of yourself, because it's very easy to like get into like this depression state or like just a sadness where you like don't eat, don't
get a habit. It'll turn into a habit.
And you just you don't stop bathing, just don't like really you don't really care because your life feels kind of meaningless. You put all your stock in like, this person was the one, this was my whole life, and now my life has no meaning, or it can be very like all or nothing. So the second thing to do is to start a big self-care routine. Pamper yourself, take a bath, lay in the bath for an hour, whatever makes you feel good. If you need to like start, writing a routine down, like a morning routine or evening routine, just a self-care routine.
Yes.
To like just do the basic things to take care of yourself. If that includes like, I have to eat, write that down.
Yeah.
Because it is really hard.
That's a hard one for me when
Yeah.
I'm sad or upset, I can't eat.
Yeah.
Just make me throw it back up. It feels like that,
On the flip side, some people eat too much.
Yeah. Well, if I'm depressed, I'll eat.
Your meals. Yeah.
If I'm emotionally upset, I won't eat. But if I'm depressed, I'll eat every dang chocolate covered thing.
It might be helpful to like plan out what you're going to eat so that you don't eat ice cream. You eat something that's actually good fuel for your body.
It gives you some focus on looking at yourself and what you can want to put in your body and nourish it with it. You treasure your body in doing that.
And like, if you start to like love yourself in this way, it will start to make you feel better about yourself rather than worse. Oh gosh, I just ate a pint of Haagen-Dazs. Now I feel a bit shittier, because it doesn't make you feel great.
No, it doesn't.
Stuff yourself full of like food that's not
and it feels uncomfortable to be all bloated like that too. And
yeah. And then the third thing is to exercise. And a lot of people don't enjoy that either. I always tell my clients, you got to like get embodied, and that means exercising. You don't have to like go run a marathon or anything. You can take a walk around the block, because that is part, again, of being in your body. And sometimes, the process of moving will actually release more like stuck emotion in your body.
That's true, because it releases energy out of places.
Start crying. You might start like getting angry. Like,
because it's all loosening up.
That and that and that and that, and then you just like start like more emotion coming out, or you'd like start remembering things, and it's really a good process
to make you realize. Sounds like that part is like where you really process things and realize it wasn't a good relationship, because the anger, if it's coming out, then that's
if you like to run, do yoga, play basketball, whatever your thing is for exercise, do it. Because swimming, I don't care what it is, that will help your body, your muscle memory, move that trauma through, because that will actually get you on the road to recovery from a breakup.
Yeah, so that's great advice, Jennifer. That's really
it makes you feel better.
Yeah,
it will make you feel better. Yeah.
I mean, something I found is journaling. Sleep, or not too much either, because then you can't. I sleep all the time. And one thing that helps me, I'm a creative person. Like, so if I do something with, I don't feel like it, but I'll write about them, and, and then like, it's kind of like, I can't exercise now, but I couldn't exercise when I was, it hurts. And now I know why, because it's like all my muscles aren't right and tendons. But when I was younger, so I'd journal, or I'd write a song about it. And that always made me feel so much better. Or if a poem even, or a lot of poems. Or another thing, I think you should reach out to your friends who you really trust. If you have any friends that really can listen to you without judging him or them or her and anybody, and not you especially, just so you can listen and just really listen, and not,
Yeah,
or maybe you need a cheerleader. He sucks. Maybe
I hate to be like shameless plug, but you could get a reading, like contact
readings really help
your metaphysical person, whoever you go to, and not necessarily get a reading on like, how are we going to get back together, because that's not really what you need right now. It's more about like, how can I take better care of myself? What am I supposed to learn from this breakup? How can I move forward in my love life? All of those types of things.
What can be good coming for me if I get it that way? If I get an optimistic attitude, what good is coming? Look
what good is coming for me? Even make something really good general like that. Make you feel better.
And something else that
coming into my life.
It was coming new. That's something that's exciting. It could not necessarily a person, but it could be something, a job change, money, trip, it could be anything, new friends. That's a really good suggestion, actually, because we do get a lot of people as psychic readers.
A lot of people like come to me for like the breakup reading, like, how are we going to get back together? And the reading is like, well, you're not getting back together, but here are all the other blessings that are coming to you.
Yeah. And they have them.
And that's just what's happening. Like
and they have them. Yeah.
Can't make up what's not there.
Yeah.
No.
And a lot of times I find with the clients, this works too, because for me, the creative approach is to journal or get it out through some kind of expression of making a creative something tangible. And I think like for me, that helps me explain to myself a lot of things that I hadn't processed.
Yeah.
And I don't even realize I'm doing it until after I do something with if it's just a poem, read it back a few days later and go, oh, wait a minute, I remember writing that. And that's a big deal. And, I didn't think about it then, but now I'm really thinking about that. It's been kind of brewing, after you write it all out. That's always helped me a lot. And as far as any issues, and it gives me like a sense of value to read back later and have a different perspective. And time did change and things did change in a week or 4 days or 2 days. Journal constantly if you have to and read it back. Find out where you're growing through that week period, 2-week period, or after a breakup. I found that to be very helpful too.
Yeah, I journal a lot. Yeah. It's not for everybody, but yeah, it definitely helps.
Yeah.
Or just get it on your recorder on your phone and just start talking to it and listen to it a couple of days later if you don't like to write. Just get it off your chest. A creative way. And that's a creative way. Just talking to yourself. You can talk to yourself like that and listen back.
Yeah.
You don't know what you said. And then like all these podcasts are like that for me. I listen to them. I'm like, I don't remember any of them until I listen to them again, pretty much. And I have to listen to them a lot so I can remember them what we covered and stuff, which I love. I love listening back to them. So I guess wrap this up. First I want to thank our sponsor, Everclear. Everclear is an advice app. You can get advice, or it's a website, everclear.com. You can get advice from psychics and empaths to get the clarity you need to create the life you deserve. And Jennifer Love and I are both advisors on Everclear. I am LEESA, Lisa P, with letter P, and Jennifer L.
Yeah.
Jennifer L. And Misty. Misty. What are you doing?
Hello.
What are you doing? Okay, Misty, before you wrap this podcast up, I want you to interpret this mermaid card. It's the alien emerges. Yes, I got this oracle deck, but the book didn't come with it. The alien emerges. How does this relate to our podcast, Misty? Can you see it?
Well, actually, she just got broken up with, or it's been a little while since she's been up with, but she's finally started to come to the water and see what else is out there.
Ooh, and she does feel like an alien. She hasn't dated since she was 20 or 2000.
Yeah.
Now she's 4,000.
Yeah. She's coming out of her shell, coming out to see what else is out there now.
I like that. Yeah. That would make me feel like an alien for sure. Well, and Jennifer, thank you so much for giving us great advice about breakups and all kinds of good stuff, as you always do. Thank you so much for coming.
Yes, Jennifer.
Thank you.
And Misty, I love you. Thank you. And I do love you too, Jennifer.
Lisa, I love you.
And listeners and watchers, Misty froze. You both froze. Oh, everybody's freezing. The storm went away, but I guess that's what happens on a psychic podcast. If this is recording, listeners, I love you. We love you. And we will come back soon tomorrow. Peace out.